What's up, everybody? What's going on? How's everybody's night going right now? I know it's late. I know it's like 10:16 right now. But welcome to live stream. I decided to do a little late night chat right before I head off to bed. I figured maybe some of you are like nocturnal, or maybe you have a hard time, trouble sleeping. You want to chat it up. I don't know. Just let me know in the chat. I'm just going to pull up the feed here. There we go. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Listen, don't mind the little screen there that says screen recorder. On the side, I'm using a software. Some of you may not have been on the channel. I just want to let you guys know that I'm using a different software. I'm not using OBS or Streamlabs. Fortunately, the CPU on my laptop isn't that great. Just so you know, so I'm using screen recorder software, which is not too bad, but I gotta do stuff manually here and there. Still learning the software. You know, this is basically like a beta testing, I think, or the free part of the of the software. But it's not so bad at all. So what do you guys want to talk about tonight? Because I'm gonna move for a chat. Wade McMullen, hey, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining the chat. So tomorrow, and make sure also, guys, if you guys can hear me, if you guys can see me. If you can hear me, that's great. If you can see me, that's even better. If you can't, let me know. I'll try to figure something out with the whole issue. But from what I'm seeing, the stream is doing pretty well. I like this. I finally got my stream back together, William Horton, what's going on, buddy? How's it going, man? Wow, you guys, and Wade McMullen, listen, if you haven't already, and you're new to the channel, check out the videos before you subscribe. And leave a comment down in the comment section down below for any video you watch. And if you catch an interest in, let me know. And if you consider subscribing, subscribe and hit the bell notification for future videos. What's up, Jason Reno? What up, KGJ? He says, what's going on? Listen, if you guys want my attention, always remember, okay? William Horton, buying tools and stuff. Dude, I would love to. Oh, man, if I was with you right now, I'd be buying the whole store. So remember, if you want to grab my attention, you type at Klein Guy John. It'll highlight in orange or yellow or whatever color it highlights. Most likely it's going to highlight in orange for me if you type it in to catch my... Amos Cardoza. Famous Amos is here. Where are my cookies, Amos? I want some chocolate chip cookies. William Hart, everybody's saying, what's up tonight? What's going on? So, I'm just looking at the phone. All right, everything seems like it's up to date. That's awesome. I like this. This is nice. I'm really getting used to the hang of the new streaming software here. Yo, Jason, Will, and Wade. Jason Reynolds says, hey, how come it says I'm not subscribed? I know I am subscribed. Get subscribed, bro. What do you want me to do? I can't do it for you. You gotta if you're using your phone, tap that little red icon that says subscribe, and then the bell, and you hit bell, and it gives you like 3 options. Personalize, all, or something else. Just hit all. And boom, you get your notifications. I think they might have kicked a lot of people because I got about 200 subscribers, less than what I had. Yo, it's nice, bro. But jeez, that's not fair. Yeah, you know what it is that they're doing? YouTube's doing that. They've been doing that. Like it's like if you're not posting videos. I had this conversation with Vince from VCG Construction. He gave me some pointers on how YouTube really works. And part of that is because if you're not posting as much content as they like you to post, what happens is that they literally knock off subscribers. So you really got to start, if you want to stay consistent to the channel, you got to either do live streams or you just do videos, post videos. For one, I'm trying to get as much subscribers. Video making, my schedule is pretty crazy. I start from 9 a.m. to 5:30. Time I get home, it's 7 p.m. So I don't have time to do any videos, but I make the time to do live streams like this. Who am I missing? I think they might have kicked. Okay, we read that. William Horton says, Klein Guy John, you ever used the Milwaukee battery-powered knockout tool? I have once. The company I work for, we have one in the shop. I've one time used it actually, this past summer. I got a chance to use it, and it was pretty awesome. The only thing I have with that is it still does not beat the not manual, but the manual type knockout with the wrench. I don't use the wrench. I have a Klein Tools knockout set, the basic set with the 1-inch wrench, ratchet wrench. I don't use the ratchet as much, only in like certain tight spaces. But if I'm in big boxes, I take my 1-inch socket and 1/2-inch adapter, and I just drill that bad boy through. I use it real quick. Does it really fast, faster than the actual Milwaukee, to be honest. Because I use a Milwaukee Gen 3 Impact for it, and it works. But yes, it's not that bad, William Horton. It's a pretty cool tool. I would recommend if you're the type that does a lot of commercial work, and your company is looking for a much more lighter weight and cordless, and not a cordless feature, and not much of a hydraulic and dealing with oil and hydraulic oil, whatever. Yes, definitely go with the cordless knockout tool set. They're in the oven, my man, says Amos Cardinals. Yo, I want some cookies. Yo, you got me in some mood of cookies now, man. Now I'm about to run over to the ShopRite, 24-hour ShopRite, and grab some Toll House cookies. You got me in the mood, bro. Jason Reynolds says, Will, thanks a lot for the famous Amos cookies. Now I'm hungry. Damn, man. You're getting us hungry, Amos. Stop it. These late night munchies you're giving us. Wade McCullen says, what's the best wire stripper for residential? I say go with a Klein. And it all depends what type, what type of Klein stripper you're comfortable with. You could either go with the all-in-one stripper, or pliers, all-in-one pliers with strippers and shear cutters, which I like. It's a favorite of mine. And or you can go with the hybrid, the new hybrid Klein Tools hybrid pliers. They go from 18 gauge to 10 gauge stripping holes, or 16 gauge to 10 gauge, which I have, and it's very light. It's a very light, very well made hand tool pliers with strippers and 832 and 632 cutting shears. I would use that if you're doing residential as well, and mostly commercials, used for both. But if you're looking for strippers and wire strippers individually, go with I would say go with Klein, the Klein brand, but whichever one you prefer, whichever one you find more comfortable in use. Yo, the stream, the chats are going crazy right now. What is going on? Hold on, let me catch up with you guys. Jason Reynolds says, wait, I love my curved blue Comfort Grip. Well, there you go, Comfort Grip strippers. I have a pair of those. I even have the Romex, the yellow grip ones, the Romex. Those are really good to have too. $35 at Home Depot. Whoa! Tearing Wraith Bone. Aaron Banks says, what's happening? Yo, what's up, Aaron Banks? It's been a while, buddy. How you doing? How you been? Jason Reynolds says, yeah, I can't do live streams because I don't have a computer. Everything is done by my phone, and I don't have 1,000 subs to do mobile live streams. Well, here's what you can do, Jason Reynolds. You want to do live stream, you can't do it on YouTube? Download the Streamlabs OBS app. I do it. Once all those live stream I've been doing every morning in the van, the service van, I do it on my phone right here. Do it on the phone. They have an app for it. It works out great. You just gotta, learn how to adjust the perks to it. There are some perks in that app there. So learn your way around it, my friend. Taryn Rathbone says, "Do you remember me?" Taryn, do I remember you? I don't recall. Refresh my memory, my friend. Mr. Banks. Yo, what's up with this? Whoa. Alright, listen. Taryn Rathbone. We don't want none of that here in the chat. Alright, buddy? I would appreciate you not use that type of language. But luckily, no one can see it. So I can see it. Yeah, that's not the language. Listen, buddy, if you keep that up, I'm going to have to kick you out. It's the truth, man. You're going to get kicked out. Let's see here. Troll on board. That's right. Lawnmower. Great job, bro. Hidden by Lawnmower. You're the man, Lawnmower. By the way, everybody, if you are new to the chat and you see someone with a blue name and a blue wrench, they're the moderators of the chat. They are the ones, the moderators are the ones that keep the chat clean. Boot out any trolls like Terrence, like Mr. Rathbone, who's been very vulgar for some reason. I don't know what he's doing that. Taza Waza Gaza. I haven't been in for a week. I'm not sure what you mean, buddy. I don't know. I'm not African, but appreciate. Yo, we got another one. Taza Waza Gaza. Chill out with that, man. Chill out with that. I'm gonna have to block you, buddy. Or ban you. So. Thank you, Lawnmower. Lawnmower's doing a good job. Yeah, he's doing a good job as a moderator. Good job. William Horton says, that Klein Guy John, I just got a pair of the Racketeers Crocs wire strippers. They have the Romex stripping holes. Yeah, that's cool, bro. Do a video. Post a photo on if you got the Instagram. But I like to see that. I've heard of them. I've just never seen them. I like to see those wire strippers. Look, they sound pretty amazing. Jason Rose says, but I like my yellow and black comfort grip handle South wire stripper, best for BX. Hey, listen. If you're looking for wire strippers, you can go with Southwire. You can go with Klein. I prefer Klein. I like Klein. They're really, really well made and made in the USA. You can try Knipex or Milwaukee. Milwaukee also makes some pretty decent strippers. So check that out. Yo, Kona Man Studios in his house. What's going on, Klein Guy? Do you remember how to make a ham sandwich? If you do, go to the kitchen and make it. Hungry. Busy working and working, says Aaron Banks. That's what's up, Aaron Banks. Keep it busy, man. Make that shmoney. Make that shmoney. Conan Man Studio says, yo, Demon, how you doing, bro? Yo, Demon's here. EJM Demon. What's going on, man? I didn't see you in the chat, buddy. What's up? It's been a while. Whoops. Move the table a little bit. So everybody's saying, well, what's up, everybody? I try to tune in when I get a chance, says Aaron Banks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Listen. You're here now. I appreciate it, Aaron Banks. Much appreciated, buddy. Kona says, and EJMDM says, Kona. Amos, what are we going on you? Having a good evening? I thought I was going to see John playing PS4. Ha ha ha, EJ. Not tonight. I've been trying to, I wanted to do that every Monday and Wednesday nights, but I decided not to do that tonight. It's late at night. And then, my eyes tire looking at the screen for so long. Amos was getting them too, says Lawnmower. Who calls it BX? William Horton says. Now, do you remember where the term BX cable originates from? If any of you do, let me know in the chat. BX is a type of armor cable. We all know that, Jason Reynolds. Jason Reynolds is showing his age, says William Horton. Coleman Studios is chilling. At Coleman Studios, Amos Cardoza, bro, how are you? Any new projects? Zayfael, what's going on, buddy? No Harbor Freights in New York. Yeah, we do have a Harbor Freight in New York City. We have We have one here that I know of in Mariners Harbor, Staten Island. It's towards the Jersey side, towards Jersey, and then we have a Harbor Freight in Hamilton, near Hamilton Avenue in Brooklyn, right across from the Department of Sanitation and next to the Home Depot. So, and then behind the Harbor Freight, there's a Lowe's. It's crazy, right? They got the little triangle of death, they call it. William Horton says, I know, it's MC. BX is old school. Yeah, but do you know where they got the term BX from? I want to know. MC and BX different. They are both armored, but they are not the same. That's correct, Jason Reynolds. But I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to get an answer. Wait, I think I got an answer. Who said that? Well, I just saw someone say something about New York. Oh, no, that's AFL. BMX bike, says EJM Demon. Just Josh and J Ray. Lawnmower says there are Harbor Freight stores on Staten Island, one in the Bronx and one in Brooklyn. I haven't seen a second Harbor Freight. I only know one in Mariners Harbor. Let me know if you know another one in Staten Island that's closer by me. I didn't know there was one in the Bronx and one in Brooklyn. Of course, the one I just mentioned. Lawnmower. William Horton says BX has no ground, but that ground piece of metal to bond it. That is your ground. That's what you call your bonding wire. There's one near Molloy College. Molloy College? That's in the Bronx, right? Didn't know that. Demon, who makes the best BMX cranks for bikes? BMX is just a brand, right? It's not armored. It's just a conduit. I thought Lawnmower was from Texas. Says yeah. Okay, so the term BX. For when I was in school, when I attended Apex Technical School in Manhattan, there was a lot of electricians who became instructors in that school, and the term BX comes from the fact that BX was manufactured here in New York, in the Bronx. It was largely manufactured here. That's where they got the term BX, because they didn't know what to call it back then. They figured, oh, it's made here in the Bronx, short for BX, called BX. BX cable. But it was also AC, which is armor cable. It's a very thick metallic cable. Okay. I believe it was introduced. When was it introduced? First time using BX, they introduced it with cloth wire. They had cloth wire in BX because back then cloth wire was like covered in a sheath, like a cloth sheath. Kind of like Romex, and they ran that type of wire through pipe, galvanized half-inch pipe in high-rise residential buildings in Manhattan. Zayfiel says there was originally two initial versions of armor cable. One was called AX, that's true, and the other BX, with the X standing for experimental. The BX version became the one eventually made. Yeah, there you go. That's also part of that history too. The one, Forest and South. Yes, Forest and South Avenue in Staten Island in Mariners Harbor. I used to live down on Richmond Terrace in South Avenue, so it was just straight up the block. I used to live down there. I hated it, to be honest with you. Didn't like it. Didn't like living down there. Very, very spooky. William Horton says, and gasoline. That's true. BX is armored, but it does not necessarily have full-size ground wire. Often it will have a bonding strip using the armor cable casing as his equipment ground. MC is armored with dedicated ground. You are correct, Jason Reynolds. But I was trying to find where the one in the Bronx is near the zoo. Lawnmower says, oh, it's good to know, buddy. Thank you. Now I know. The more you know. John Rice is here. I thought I was lost about electricity before this, but now I am totally lost. Yeah, who said that earlier? Zayfiel. Zayfiel is correct. They also got the term BX. They used it because they were manufacturing, experimenting it here in New York. It became, what's that word I'm looking for? It was mass produced. There you go. Oh my goodness, my memory is totally shot. I'm 31 years old. I'm acting like I'm starting to feel like an old man. Who did I miss? I thought I was... Okay, read that already. John Rice, lawnmower on Google Earth. So yeah, the BX is for Burger Xing. MC is for McDonald's. EGM Demon, you're great, buddy. That's so funny. Oh man. So yeah, they got that. So they used it largely here in New York, and then it spread out to the other states. It was originally, because back then originally we used knob and tube. Then it was cloth wire, knob and tube. The cloth wire was kind of like a, which we still have in high rises today. I actually came across some of that in the city with my job I was at, and they ran cloth sheathing with two wires, neutral and hot, and it was all number 14. It was copper, but like aluminum, silverish aluminum coated over the copper. So when I pulled those wires out the galvanized pipe, it had a cloth sheathing covering the conductors, which also had cloth wrapped around a rubber insulator. But that rubber would, over time, it tends to crack and break and become brittle. So, and then there were some instances where I ran across cloth wire, but protected with BX armor cable, really thick armor cable. So that was at the time experimental with cloth, and then they switched it over to THHN insulation. And swapped, instead of number 14, they swapped it out to number 12. But that was years later. But now, what's this going on? I got from slash BX cable slash. Whoa! Safe AL, that's a lot, bro. It's a lot of information to take in. Lawnmower says EJM Demon. Hold on a second. I'm missing everybody's chats. Am I missing everybody's comments here? Yes, I am. How rude. EGM, no, some family in NYC, and I had an apartment there when I used to have to travel for business. William Horton, God, knob and tube. That's old school. You'd be surprised, William Horton. I ran across a few homes here in Staten Island and in Brooklyn. More like the Ditmas Park, East Flatbush area, where they still have today the one family homes, and they still have knob and tube wiring in the houses. It's crazy. Doing good tonight, Conan man. How are you? EJMC's IC. Listen, those of you jumping into the chat, let me know if you want my attention on something. Type at Klein Guy John in full, okay? So you can catch my attention. I can read your chat. I know a bit about the Bronx because one of my old medics was from there, near Hunts Point. That's what's up, Lawnmower. Ungrounded and grounded conductors. That's true, William Horton. You're hot, you're neutral. Ungrounded and ungrounded. And back then, your grounded was your neutral. It was considered still a ground and then an unground for the hot. Here's my county. There's a Harbor Freight in almost every city. Well, I can only imagine, Demon. I wasn't born in the 80s, Amos, says EJM Demon. John Rice, what's up, bud? Jason Reynolds says, I was born in 1980. I was on rollerblades in the early 90s, says EJM. Yo, I remember the 90s, man. Great time. I gotta tell you guys, man. The 90s were awesome. I enjoyed the 90s as a kid. Those were like my golden years. Growing up, TV shows, all that stuff, all the good stuff. And I'm not going to knock the 80s stuff either, because back then I was watching still, in the early 80s and mid-80s, I was still watching 80s cartoon thinking that they were to that days, that eras, that decades, cartoon. Hey, James, I'm a young, sexy stud. John Rice, 1968 for me. Whoa. Good evening, Jason Babilia. What's up, Jason Babila? William Horton, 90s are still alive in Portland. Really? Wow, that's interesting. 90s was fire, says EJM Demon. It was fire, man. It was the best decade ever. The movies, the music, TV shows. It was awesome. Nothing, it was just an awesome decade. What up, Jason B? Where did you get that? that Oxbox coffee box. I want one. Corman says, Demon, I don't believe that I want to see proof. See proof of what? So yeah. So that's where the terminology BX is from. Now, who can tell me what a rotor split is actually meant to be used on? Can anybody tell me that? A roto split. If you use a roto split, you should know what it's supposed to be used for and what it was designed for. Let's see if anybody puts it in here. Who's going to answer that? No? Nobody's going to answer that? Alright, I'm going to answer the question again. A roto split is designed for basically stripping wire, 12-2, 12-3, 12-4. But what type of jacket, armor, or like what kind of jacket, sheathing metal jacket was it truly designed for when it was first out? To cut armor sheathing of MCAC or MBX. Correct, but the MC, no. AC and BX, yes. Armor cable is hardened cable, just like or BX as they call it. It was designed originally to cut through BX or AC cable because of the thickness, the sheer thickness of the steel jacket. Now, MC is metal-clad aluminum. That is a much softer metal where you can now, they made it so that it's much easier and faster to cut and strip off and install into boxes. In other words, you can literally bend an MC cable, untwist it by a quarter turn, and take your tin snips and cut it and yank the cut sheath. I like doing it that way. I was taught that way. I have a rotor split, but I only use it for armor cable or BX. I don't ever use a rotor split for MC because a lot of times, a lot of guys who use rotor splits that I have experienced this. What's going on, guys? They would use a rotor split on MC and end up cutting a little too deep and nicking the wire, not realizing it. And when you land your wires and splice and you tuck them in your boxes, what happens is when we do a startup, breakers start to trip. And it took us some time to figure out why. We realized the wires were nicked underneath the jacket after we just gave a little tug. And that was because of rotor splits. And that's why I don't use rotor splits on MC. We always break it, quarter twist, cut it with tin snips carefully, yank it out. Easy peasy. You only use a rotor split on AC and BX. That's the only time you use it. Rotor split is for splitting back armored cable. You stumped us, says John Rice. Client guy, BX stands for base exchange. On military bases, get your facts first. It's good to know. Good to know. I got you, buddy. Base exchange. Alright, let's do a base exchange. I trade you for BX for 50 cents. What does that really mean, base exchange? Like, where did they even come up with that word? Why would they call it base exchange? BX. Oh, Jason Bill says $199 at Lowe's, $229. For what, buddy? $199 for what? I missed that. I missed it. What do you get? What's the $199 for? Are you guys talking tool prices or what? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Oh, I guess at Jason Reynolds. I didn't get that. Did I miss it? I think I missed a convo back there. It doesn't show up anymore. Mr. Rice 65. That's right. I go to the BX every time I go visit my relatives. DFW. But William Horn says MC comes in aluminum and steel. Yeah, but I feel soft. I like MC. Let me tell you why I like MC rather than BX. BX is when I was first taught doing electrical, we worked on BX. And then I started running into a lot of BX on certain job sites. And, well, actually most job sites. And then we started using MC. And it became so much easier. It was just easier on the hands and, less time fiddling around with, how much I got to cut with a rotor split and stuff. Yeah. So much easier. That's right. Gonna go to... read that already. Read that. I hate using diagonal cutters or snips for cutting MC. A rotor split makes better and safer cuts. Well, here's a trick. Cause a lot of guys use it, and I tend to just split it with my hands and give it a quarter twist. Because when you make that quarter twist, there's that one spiral metal that just kind of pops out more, so it's just easier to land in your tin snips and snip it off. And if you have to, you can trim around, the excess edges or whatever. I find it faster and easier. We actually did one time. Me and a coworker of mine, we actually was like, we debated that a few years ago. And I told him, I bet I can strip and install this wire, this 12-2 in a box faster than what you do with a rotor split. And he was doing this longer than I have. He's been doing this for, at the time I was like a third year. He was doing this for 10 years. And so we got some MC and he started with rotor split. I had just tin snips. And we clocked it. And I was just like, click, quarter twist, click, done, bushing. He was still turning, trying to cut. I didn't understand why, but he cut it through. He took too long and I beat him to it. I just found it easier. I mean, over time, as you progress and knowing how to, like myself, I've practiced, and my speed has been awesome with it. So, but I wouldn't use diagonal cutters unless you have to. I like to use tin snips. William Horse is breaking the MC. Whoa. Wait. I just missed that comment. Whoa, there's a lot of comments on that. Oh, breaking the MC can retard the integrity of the installation, though. Well, here's the thing. It all depends on how you know it. You see, I've been doing it so many times, I never nicked the wire. And as long as I remember, I haven't nicked the wire. So, you don't break... The thing is, you don't break it all the way. You break enough that the armor splits a little bit. And then you just give it a quarter straighten it out and then quarter turn it. You don't quarter turn it as it's bent. You straighten it back up, quarter turn, and then snip and pull. So that's basically. I mean, if you guys want to see me do a video on that, I'll be sure. I can do one. Mr. Rice, I think William Logan is older than both of us. Yeah, William Logan is old. He's older than all of us. He's got like 40 years experience of everything, so he'll probably knock us dead. He's not here to verify. Jason Reynolds says, that's how I do it. I've been to cable and cut it with dikes, but doing it that way, if you don't use the red plastic inserts, you're destined to have problems. That's true. Always use your red anti-short bushings. I hate when guys cut the cable and they don't use the anti-short bushing. And it's like, no, I've done this for 20 years. I never get a short. And when they just land the wire into the saddle connector, all of a sudden it's like, you get a short. I'm like, yeah, that's why we have anti-short bushings. Or wet heads, we call them. The Ox Box Coffee Box, John. Who did a video on that? Jason Reynolds? Jason Babila? Coleman says, yes, I believe you're right. William Horse says, not even in code to use redheads. You don't have to use them. Well, technically you should, because, alright, let me explain. When you're landing the wires in a box without that anti-short bushing, and you have a jagged edged cut of that jacket, what you do is, as you move the wires around to like bend them around, to tuck them in the box and stuff, what you're doing is you're not knowing what you're doing is that you're twisting in a sense. You're still kind of twisting around where the cut of that stripped part is, where it's been stripped and cut, and you're basically, it's rubbing either against the metal or against other conductors, but most likely it would be rubbing against the sharp parts, that jagged edge. So without you not realizing it, tucking in the box and whatever, tucking the wires in the box and putting the device in, whatever, you switch on that circuit breaker and you get a pop. You know, if you haven't put an anti-short bushing, you should know then, hey, let me go check. But that's usually the case here, that a lot of guys tend to not do, and I've always practiced on doing that, using an anti-short bushing anytime I strip a wire. If you don't have a red head anti-short bushing, use red electrical tape or black electrical tape. If you pull about a quarter or to an inch of wire from the jacket, tape around it, push it back into the jacket so that tape is exposed, showing that it can protect the wire. If you leave, make it thick enough to protect the wires from abrasion. But you're right, it's not even code, but it's become it's just become a good form of practice in the field. So at Klein Guy John, that's weird, didn't highlight my name. Zaphael. I see what you did. You spelled it wrong. That's why. That's okay. At Klein Guy John, could you make me a mod so I could post link to something you'll find very interesting / scary? You can take it away. I'll think about it, Zaphael. Let me sit on that. Klein Guy, when you are doing a job and are using TNB connectors, like ring connectors, bay connectors, what crimp tool do you have to use? Well, the only crimping tool I have is my combination pliers or my alignment pliers. Even though my alignment hybrid pliers have a crimper on it, it's not really meant for insulated crimping. It's meant for like the metal type crimping. So I use it anyways, just, but I do have a combination pliers with the stripper and crimpers for non-insulated and insulated crimping wires, shear cutters for multiple sizes. Those come in really handy in jobs like that, especially if you're like, I don't know, you got all your tools on a job site and that's like the only tool, like a spare stripper you have. It's always good to have that with the crimpers. Who did I miss? Jason Wilson, it's called base exchange because they have the commissary there on the base. If there's no commissary, it is not called base exchange. William Horton says, I know, John, but you still shouldn't do it. Bend radius and such. I've been doing it for years. But to each his own. Jason Babila on naval stations and NAS, it's Nex, senor. William Horton says you don't get messed up cuts with a roto split. True, but like I stated, I don't know if you heard, William, but some guys who've been doing it for years, they don't realize also how deep they cut in with a roto split. Sometimes you can get that one wire that's twisted but so close inside the jacket and you end up nicking it without even realizing it. It happens. That Kona? Message retracted. William Norton says, at the edge of the MC sheath is probably lined up at the bottom of your connector against the internal stopper. Yeah, but I'm saying sometimes it could be jagged enough that one little part of the metal could stick out if you don't cut it right, or maybe it'll ship it right. Who knows? Client Guy, when do you use a butt splice and a brand new control panel? I haven't used any. You know what? It's funny you should say, Conan, man. I haven't used a lot of butt splice. I don't have. I mean, maybe I have. I think I have one time, but it wasn't in a new panel. What had happened was there was a short. I wouldn't say short. Wasn't it short? Yeah, it was a short. It was on a motor. And they didn't leave enough slack for a wire. So I ended up using a butt connector. I crimped it down, and I ran another wire, took it off the short end of it from the motor terminal, took that off, replaced it with a brand new wire, and ran it to that butt splice and crimped it. I like to crimp them, and then I solder them. If I do have my soldering iron, I'll solder the end so that way it's more secure connection. Sometimes if you crimp and you may not crimp it enough down that the wire could still slip out if it's stranded or solid. So be very mindful of that. I tend to like to crimp it and then solder any exposed copper coming out of it. That way it's nice and sealed in. It doesn't come out. It stays in place. It stays connected. Get a strong connection. I know it's a lot. It's a lot to do for like one butt splice, and you're thinking, "Oh, you're going out of your way to do that." Well, I like to have. There's a saying: you want to be electrically and mechanically connected and secure. So, Client Guy John, amg.com/gallery/OSHA would love to get your opinion on this electrical craziness. Yeah, look it up, buddy. Let me take a look. Coleman says, Client Guy, you're wrong. You have to use the manufacturer's crimp tool for UL listed panels. See, that's why I don't have a UL listed crimper. The only crimper I have is my combo. Which, you know what, Kona? You just reminded me to get. You just reminded me to get one. To get one, actually. I was going for that Klein Tool insulated, non-insulated crimper, and I never came around to getting it. And the manufacturers, like T&B makes one, I believe. And I saw one in a supply house, and I really wanted to get it. But the only thing was, it's like a little pricey. Client Guy John, gotta head to bed now. Thanks, my man. Everyone have a great night. I'll catch you all on the flip side. We'll flip side over, buddy. Don't worry, you'll see me tomorrow morning. You'll see me tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. If you guys got the notification for morning service call, is at 8 a.m. sharp. To 8 a.m. It's a half hour. 8 a.m. to 8:30. I'll be here live again. Amos, have a good night, says everybody. So let me check that. Let me check that out. Let's go there. Hold on. Let us go there. Now, what was it that you said it was there? Who said it? Who said it? Zayfael. Well, let me see if I can. Whoa. You know what it is? It says slash. Would love to get. Huh. Alright. I'm going to save this. Copy. Let's do that right here. I'm going to paste. You said dot something. I don't see that there, buddy. I just want to check if I'm doing this right here. /gallery/ I'm going to save that. Oh! Okay. I'm going to save that. Copy. It says /gallery dot / this guy. If I can turn back time. I'm kidding. I'm not going to sing that song. You crazy? That lady gives me the heebie-jeebies sometimes. Is this normal? I don't understand. Wait a minute. I don't see anything. No. 480 volts. Dude, that thing is heating up. Holy smokes. You know, I've seen something like that before. I can't remember where. And it's not this video. They fail. Let me you guys I'm watching what they has been shown here. Let's see. So this is what Zaphael, our good friend Zaphael. Let me see here. Can I play this back? Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Look at that. Look, the bolts are heating up. Look at that. Holy smokes. That, my friend. Wow. Holy shnikes, look at that thing. Caught fire. You know what? This does look familiar, this video. I think I've seen this video before. So what's going on here is a failure of doing your job. So, wow, that is nuts. Look at that. It's catching fire. I don't know if I've seen this in... Something like this. I don't know if it was in real life that I saw this on a job, or I'm trying to remember. And it wasn't from this video, but this is very interesting. Holy crud! Look at that! Look at that baby glow, and it catch fire. So most likely they don't have a ground, and it could also. I just never seen. Have I seen this in real life? I don't even remember. Maybe it was a video. Maybe it was this video. But I never experienced this in reality. But that's pretty wild. So there's no ground. So they must have like a neutral to ground as a ground. And they're basically have your hots. They're using the neutral as a ground. They probably don't have the ground connected, or either that corroded because it's an outdoor box. And sometimes these outdoor boxes aren't that weatherproofed either. Wow, that is nuts. Believe it or not, that actually happened to me. That has happened on a job where I was just re-identifying some feeds, just slapping some electrical tape and stuff, and then I remember I went down there. The power was off, the disconnect was shut, everything was off. I went in, I had to re-identify the main feeds. When I switched it back in, or when I switched flip the disconnect on, the what was it that was glowing? I think it was the neutral. No, it was the ground bar. The ground bar was heating up. I didn't see the ground bar heat up. It was just I was starting to smoke in the panel. So when I shut the breaker off and I took a look in the panel, all the grounds were burned, and some of the neutrals were burned too, which is kind of crazy because they used a what am I saying? Not the grounds. I meant the neutrals. I meant to say neutrals. The neutrals were burnt, were glowing, along with I think it was one of the phases. I think it was from a breakers. One of the feeds, the main feeds was heating up as well. It was glowing. So I realized then that their ground, they used a neutral. They jumped the neutral to. What did they do with the neutral? There's something with the neutral. I know I think they bonded the neutral, and they didn't have to because they had a ground already, or something. I can't remember. Man, it was like so long ago. And what happened was it fried it up. It was crazy. It was nuts. And I had to retrace every feed, and it turned out everything was fine. The neutral was fine. I didn't realize that they had a neutral it was the neutral at the meter. I remember when I left that job, somebody else came in. They told me the neutral at the feeder was at the meter, not the feeder. The meter was not even on the neutral bar. It was just bonded to the casing. So someone jerry-rigged it so they can get power, and it turned out too much power gave that effect. Yikes, look at that. Whoa. Wow, that thing is glowing. Yo, that's nuts. Look at that. Holy smokes. So that's what might have happened here. They might have used the neutral as a ground straight up. It could be that. It could be a neutral in the in here that's touching to the base of the framing, and it's just causing a feedback and heating up because they have this continuously on, so pulling a lot of amps. That's wild, that. So there's no ground. That is nuts. They got a clip right here too. That's ridiculous. Ridiculoso. Alright, I may be Hispanic, but I suck in my Spanish. Alright, let me head back to you guys really quick. Really quickies. Quicko. Sorry, let me fix this here so I can see, you guys can see me. There we go. Oh man, I missed a lot of your chats. I was so focused on that. Yeah, that was crazy. Client guy, you're wrong. Oh, we read all this already. I've had that crimper for more than 20 years. Close to 25 years. Wow. That's the crimper that I used. The red handle Klein insulated. See, that's what I want, Jason Reynolds. Every time I go to Home Depot, I look at it and I'm like, I'm going to get that. Then I leave without... I keep doing that. I keep doing that to myself. Why do I keep doing that? I don't know. Mostly just use it for automotive electronics. Coneman says we use butt splices when there's a device like a horn or a pilot device that is pre-wired and sealed when you cannot replace the wires. That's the only time. Coneman Studio says, when we discuss that again? Oh yeah, I remember now. Klein guy, you can use that, but if you're making a UL listed panel, you cannot use a Klein tool and a TB on a TB connector because it's not UL certified. It's got to be the manufacturer's. Yeah, but sometimes those manufacturer ones, oh my god, dude, they're so... I don't know how that little thing could be so expensive than the Klein. It wasn't TB. Was it TB? I think it was what's that other manufacturer that makes those? I forget. But we ordered from another manufacturer, and we couldn't. My boss wouldn't even buy it. He was just being, it was just expensive. Where am I? Lawnmower. I think the bolt becoming red hot is a clue to start running away. Yeah, run for the hills. Oh yeah, no kidding. It's throwing breakers. Yeah, that's what you have. You have a ground. You might have a what you might have is you have a lost neutral. You can have a neutral to ground, or no ground, or just neutral to ground. It don't have to be touching a ground wire. It could be touching metal framing, and then all the amps are basically energizing that entire panel. But what you got there is probably a motor of some kind that's running constantly and pulling so much amps, it's heating up the nuts and bolts and stuff. That's dangerous. It's a bad ground. It could be a bad ground, so it's very dangerous. Generator connector. I couldn't really tell because it's like he didn't really back up and to see what it was, but that was wild. Holy smokes. Looks to me like voltage to ground potential without having circuit breaker, but instead probably double tapped into main lug. That's another possibility too. Yeah. the generator connector. Thanks at Klein Guy John. Background neutral makes sense. The cabinet's not what I want to be around. You definitely don't want to be around that. If you touch that to ground, you're screwed. You're done. Jason Reynolds says this type of voltage to ground potential normally happens because somebody tried to hook up a 110 to 120 load from one leg to the 240 circuit and use ground as a neutral for neutral. Yes, you're exactly right about that, Jason Reynolds. That is another way of that result. So you have to, you guys out there who do electrical, you're starting off doing electrical work, make sure you have a ground. You have a proper ground. Okay? You're bonded. You're grounded, you're bonded. And you're neutral. Make sure you don't have a cut neutral. You don't have a nicked wire. You don't have a neutral touching to ground or metal frame. You can still get a short, but sometimes you can't. You can just get a continuous load, but that could happen too. What else? What am I forgetting? You all got to remember that the theory of grounding, right? A lot of people, and I when I went to school, I was told this as well. Why do we have a ground? What is the use of a ground? And the answer at the time was it would bring least path to least resistance, and it turned out to be it turned out to be false. That theory turned out to be false. And the reason for the ground was basically they use a ground. A ground wire is used to, in case of a fault, electricity would find its way back to the source, basically. So it's how did this guy Mike Holt quoted it? I don't know, man. My memory is getting shot, man. That's not good. I gotta start drinking some Jameson tea, or ginkgo. What's the saying? He says, "Man, I gotta brush up back on him." I think maybe some of you may know. Looks to me like thanks, Klein Guy John. Okay, read that. This type of voltage to ground. We read that. So you're saying neutral is not a proper ground. It's a ground, but you cannot. For instance, the issue where we had an issue like that, similar to what you just saw, was because someone jerry-rigged them into the meter can. They ran the neutral straight to the frame of the box and not to the neutral bar. And there was no ground. And that's what they basically wanted to use. They wanted to use the metal frame, thinking, oh yeah, metal frame, ground, electricity is needs to find its way back to the source. That's not how it goes. You end up frying stuff and heating stuff and causing someone to get killed. So yeah, it's not good to bond a neutral to a metal frame or a neutral bar to a metal frame. You have to have it away and insulated. Your ground, yes, if it requires you to put a ground a bonding jumper to bond to the frame, then yes. But if you're just going straight to the frame, then no. It's basically an automatic fail on inspection. But your neutral has to be isolated, and it has to be insulated as well. If you take a look inside your electrical panel, you'll see the plastic bushings and plastic mounts keeps it away from the metal frame. I've been to a job, I did a side job actually for my roommate before I even became roommates with him, and we pulled out all the old wiring in his old room. He had a roommate who moved out, and we did an entire bedroom. We rewired the entire bedroom, and the bedroom had the electrical panel in there. It's one of those rail car apartments in Brooklyn, and yeah, Conan, man, they're expensive for a little crimper. What was I saying then? Yeah, so it was a rail car apartments, and the panel was in one of the bedrooms. And in the panel, the existing panel, it was a Sylvania electrical panel from Sylvania. The neutral bar was literally bonded to the metal frame of the electrical panel, the panel itself. And that was a big no-no, because they would sometimes have breakers tripping, or they would have a blackout sometimes in the apartment, and that was the issue. Sometimes they would even have, if my roommate's girlfriend was using a hairdryer, for instance, she'll have it on for like 2 minutes, and the breakers would trip. 1 or 2 breakers would trip. So it became a problem, and I remedied it. We put in a much more modern circuit breaker, a Square D. I had the breakers for it. We ran new lines. We put a pull box above the ceiling with access, so we can pull for future use. We ran extra circuits for other rooms in the apartment in case he wants to renovate, whatever. And we properly grounded everything from the basement up. So everything was grounded. We had a new panel with neutral bars and neutral bus and everything. It worked out great, and they didn't have any more nuisance tripping after that. Who did I miss? Okay, we read that as they feel, saying you're saying the neutrals are not a proper ground. It's considered a ground, but it's the way you implement how to make your terminations on. Command Studio, that's the first time I've seen it in the control panel with 2 generator connectors on it. They're using one for the generator connectors for the main power. Yeah, you can't do that. And that's the result. You'll heat it up. ZAF neutral can only be bonded to the ground inside of the main panel. If there are any sub panels and neutral is bonded to ground anywhere but at the main, it is a big no-no. There you go. But as long as you don't run a neutral directly to the frame of a panel, that will just make no sense. You don't do that. You bring your main neutral to the main lug of your neutral bar. Okay. Cornmaster says TNB are or around $100. Then you can buy different where there are Charles where other connectors. Yeah, those things are expensive though. For $100, I don't know. I mean, I would maybe 80. I would go with 80, but $100. Jason Ross says I could give a better explanation of this, but not here on the comments because I am limited to a certain number of characters per input. Listen, Jason, what you can do, okay, bud, you can leave it in the comment section down below. All right, you can do that. You can leave it in 2 comments. If you run out of characters, leave it in 2 comments, 3 comments. Leave it in the comment section down below for everyone to see. They can respond back to you on it. I'll respond back on it with you. You can do that. You can do it right now if you can. Zayfael, Jason, I was joking, says Zayfael. Night all lawnmower. Have a good night, buddy. Later, lawnmower. What time is it right now? It's gonna be 11:30 in 10 minutes. We're 10 minutes. We're gonna end the stream in 10 minutes. All right, everybody. But this was good chat. It's a good get together. I like that. Listen, smash the like button if you like this stream, the live stream, and if you like power tools, if you like construction. I don't know. Maybe you like movies. You like video games. You got a hobby. Excuse me. We'll talk about anything. Talk about anything at this point. Well, this was a good conversation. We're all learning. See, I learned a few things. That's cool. Yo, you know what? Let's take a look. I want to take a look at something here. If y'all don't mind. Let me actually... Oh, man. Hold on. Oh, wait. Why did I delete that? That is so weird. Alright, so... I want to check something out on Acme Tools. If y'all don't mind. Let's check it out. I wanna see what they got. Let's see what's going on. I know we have that 10% deal on Acme. Your neutral is always bonded to your ground, said Coneman Studios. Zaphael, college kids who try and tap dorm room 240 volt ceiling lights for more power are funny too. That's dangerous, as they say. The Boo Code. What's up, Boo Boo? Alright, let's see. See, I'm looking. Here's what I'm looking for. Let's go to. Well, no, by the way, I gotta get a new boot for my Impact. I had to take out the old one. Apparently, the old one got damaged. Nah, I'm just kidding. It got damaged. What had happened, guys, was I lost my old Impact with the boot. And I ended up purchasing another one. Another Impact M12 Gen 2 Impact driver. And let me see here. Yeah, we're on the M12. And I bought an Impact tool only on Amazon for only $80. The M12 Gen 2. Not bad. But I think they brought it back up to $95, which is a little bit, little bit pricey. It's not half as bad as getting it for $119 on Acme. So let's see here. What do we got? Brands. Let's go to Milwaukee. Haha. Laughing. Yeah, that's funny. Those college kids. I swear, college kids think they're like, oh yeah, it should be easy. Let's just tap into it. It shouldn't be a problem. Boom! They get shocked. Or worse. And we don't want that. It's why you leave it to a professional. Where are all the accessories? Oh, here we go. So I want to see something here. I want to get the boot. Now, a lot of people I hear, even on the job sites that I've been on, they say the boot, it doesn't really do much. And they say, what's the point of the boot? Oh, why you need it? It doesn't shock absorb everything when you drop it. Okay, true, but it absorbs some, not all, of the blow of the impact when you drop your drill. The main purpose of that rubber boot is not only to protect it and from falls and stuff. It's also protecting the tool from marring up furniture or finished work. That's what it's normally used for. Let me see here. M12 tools. Right? All right, let's go to M12 tools. I'm going to show you here what I mean. And I like the boot because when I was doing service calls, I had to do work on finished work. So I had to put in outlets. Sometimes the GFIs and kitchens were so close to the kitchen cabinet above it that I end up marring the paint or whatever when I'm just rubbing against the furniture. So I decided to purchase the boot. Now where the heck is it? Is it supposed to be under accessories? The boot is really good to have. Very good. And it protects the outer part of your drill. So, here we go. Accesorios. Milwaukee accessories. Yes, let's try that. Alright, here we go. Milwaukee replacement parts. And take out the chainsaws, the key chucks, the chuck keys. Here it is, right here. The Impact Driver Protective Boot. $29. That's how much I purchased on Amazon. Here on Acme, sorry. So I want to put that in the cart. Let's see if I can use the Boo Code. Let's get to shopping. Oh, we got that in the cart. There's something else, but I think we don't have much time. So, probably get a Chinese one on eBay cheap. I recommend he get boot. YouTuber called at Chemical Sport just posted video getting Milwaukee Impact at Northern Tool. Not sure what his out the door cost was. I hear you. I'm curious. Gotta go, guys. Catch y'all later. Jason Reynolds, I appreciate you, buddy. We appreciate you for joining in on the chat. You know, I'm really, here's another thing, guys. Now, I see a lot of guys in the construction, like in renovation work, or like, because most of the time we're doing renovation and construction, roughing in, running new wires and such. I see a lot of guys use the M12 power tool. And what happens is that's fine when you're roughing in, you want to carry something light. That's great. But for me, when it comes down to commercial, and I'm saying commercial work, I like to carry an M18 impact driver. Okay? 1, it's meant for that type of work. 2, it could take a little bit more of a beating than the M12. And 3, it's, you can go through a lot more heavier material with it, And I'm not knocking that the M12 is now that great, okay? It's a good line. It's a good platform. I own a lot of M12 tools, but I prefer using the M12 for delicate work as VCG, construction, or finished carpentry. And they say, finished carpentry doesn't do a lot of tool reviews and stuff like that. But from Vince from VCG Construction, M12 is used for finished work and delicate work. I carry my M12 with me in my Klein bag. Whenever I'm doing a service call and someone's home, I use the impact driver and on the first setting on speed 1 because I like to back in and back out and back in screws easier with it. I'm not trying to try to force anything into a wall or anything like that. So M12 tools. So yeah, that's what I use my M12 tools for. And excuse me. I use the bandsaw, the subcompact bandsaw on commercial and residential work, which is good. I like that. I love the subcompact bandsaw. It's awesome. It's very light, easy to use. Good night, Kona Man Studio. Says Kona Man says good night to all. I'll look good tonight. Just worry about getting the freight for tomorrow night and more important. Listen, guys, another thing. Tomorrow I'm gonna be home here in my home doing the morning service call. I don't work on Halloween. It's a long story. I just don't do it. Okay, here in New York City, a lot of crazy nutcases out there. I don't want to be coming home late at night dealing with all that. So I'd rather be home safe that day. So my job knows it. Family knows it. Friends know it. I just don't do it anymore. But I do. During the day, I go shop around. I go get candy for the kids because they have trick-or-treaters in my block. So I'm prepared. All right, and then I got a few other things to do after the live stream that I can get out of the way before the weekend. So, but anyways, guys, listen, it's 11:30 p.m. here in the East Coast in New York, and I want to say I appreciate everybody showing up tonight, having the chat with me. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate I made it. Let me fix this real quick. Oh no, why did I do that? There we go. Just trying to fix this up. So I appreciate everybody being here tonight, hanging out with me. Klein Man John says you need that Milwaukee plumbing drain tool. I don't really need one. I'm not a plumber. But I'd like to try it. Why not? Sounds pretty cool. The air snake. I like the idea of an air snake. Have a good night, Klein Guy John. Thanks a lot, Zayfield. You have a good night too. I want to say thank you to the moderators, Lawnmower, Famous Amos Cardoza. All right, We also got EJM Demon. And I think that's all of them. Listen, I gotta get going, guys. I gotta get my beauty sleep going. All right. Like I said, I appreciate Will. Good night, Will. Have a great night, buddy. I want to say thanks for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys hanging out with me tonight, chatting up. It was a good conversation. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys again. And I want to say to the moderators of the chat, thank you for doing such a great job tonight in the chat, keeping things clean, keeping things peaceful, getting rid of the trolls and the negativity. I also like to say that, again, I appreciate everybody here. I appreciate the entire industry because, listen, we're here, we come here, we talk about construction, we talk about tools, we talk about the industry, we talk about the business of the industry. Anything you want to talk about, we keep it here, we keep it clean. We are friends here in this platform, in this community. I'm part of this community just as well as you are part of this, as much as you are a part of this community. I'm losing my thought here because I'm really tired now. Thanks for all being here tonight. I really do appreciate it a lot. And smash the like button if you like the stream, if you like the conversation. And if you want to see more, you want to do more, like I said, you can just smash the like button and leave a comment in the comment section down below after the stream. What do you think? Did we touch on any topics tonight that, we touched up on, you got answers for? Maybe we didn't touch up on a topic you wanted to talk about. Leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll schedule that for the next, or for tomorrow morning service call. I'll bring it up, or I'll bring it up to the Sunday Funday Q&A. All right. I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Will. I appreciate what you do by smashing the like button and jumping in and chatting away with us. I appreciate that. All right, guys. I got to get going. Thanks a lot for being here tonight. Just remember, guys, always remember, wear your personal protective equipment. Watch each other's back. Help one another out. And I will see you all on the next one. See you tomorrow morning for morning service call. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. Have a good night, everybody.